I am Apadman and you are watching Pinoy Witch Talk.
Masayang magtipon-tipon at magdiwang, tumugtog ng kagalakan ang lahat. Papuri at parangal sa diwatang nasa atin.
Many of you probably knows me already because I am a member of the Correllian Nativist Church, and as a Correllian Wiccan practicing in the Philippines, I am also the content creator of this prayer TV, which you can watch or which you can see on YouTube. No, since the time of pandemic, I decided to focus on creating content about Philippine spirituality, Wicca, and I employ our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/lumpiangagama, and there I create content. And so far, no, we are almost reaching 1,000 subscribers watching our videos, and I am grateful to have all of you watching me, and because of you, I am able to create content and share my faith to everyone. So as a content creator, you might think that I am just creating it or I'm just making research and presenting it just to have a content. No, actually what I am sharing is my personal faith and my personal life with you. So all that you are seeing on our video is an explanation of how we operate, how we live our faith, no, how to make our faith work in my life. So there is also one question, if what is my religion? No? There is a question of what is my religion. So people might think that I am still a Christian or I am of different religion and I'm not practicing what I teach. As a content creator of Lumpiang Agama, no, I am practicing what I teach. So I am a Wiccan, I am a Filipino. That's why I also promote Philippine indigenous spirituality. So going back to that question, no, there is also a question na asking us, how do we believe on the human existence? Is our belief in the human existence is based on the Bible or Genesis, or on the base, or it is based on what you call that, on the Charles Darwin theory of evolution? Okay, for us, I have answered this on my blog and on our website, that the existence of man, or the theory or the explanation of the existence of man, is not solely based on a certain aspect of religion such as the explanation of the Bible in the Genesis, nor on a scientific manner, which is Charles Darwin or the evolution of man, that says that human being came from a monkey. No? For us, we subscribe to the teachings of the Correllian Nativist Church of Wicca, where they share to us the Vangelo del Strega. So Vangelo del Strega is a collection of myth, comes from Maddalena, which is an Italian witch, that been written by an American folklorist, Charles Godfrey Leland. So according to this story of creation, no, it was said that Diana was the first created of all creation. So it was the goddess Diana, no? In her all things were all things. In other words, Diana or goddess is the primeval deity. She existed before the beginning as chaos, God without form existing in a void, and having within herself the seeds of all things, both spiritual and material, all mixed up together without order or definition. So this is the basis of our faith as a Wiccan, no? And we can see that our lineage in the Correllian tradition can be traced back to the Italian witchcraft of Maddalena, since we subscribe to the teaching of Vangelo del Strega that been collected by the American folklorist Charles Godwin or Charles Godfrey Leland, no? So here, no, if you are going to read the Vangelo del Strega, comparing to the creation myth of God, no, of the Bible, God created man, separate from from himself. So out of the clay, he formed man and breathed life. So on the Christian teaching, we see that how God give importance to man, that he spent time and exert his effort in creating humanity. But in the Vangelo del Stregno, if you read it all, we will understand that as human, we are not separated from the goddess. We are part of the goddess. Because as the goddess, as we continue to work, or to read, sometimes it is said that for endless aeons, primeval deity existed in this amorphous and undifferentiated state, in the darkness before the first creation. At first she slept, aware of nothing, resting and recharging, gathering her energies and merely being alone and complete in herself. But over the course of time, the primeval deity began to stir, to become aware. First, she became aware of her own existence. In time, she began to think, to dream, to question, to desire. She wondered, what would it be like to feel? What would it be like to move, to take action, to be able to receive sensation, to see, to taste, and to hear? And so for aeons, the primeval deity thought and considered and wondered, and then out of herself, the first darkness, she divided herself. So into darkness and light she was divided. The God, her brother and son, herself, and her other self was the light. So the primeval deity divided herself and one became two. So from that, we come from the goddess, because out of her awareness, she separated herself because she wants to feel, to move, to take action, to have sensation, to see, to taste, and to hear. And these activities are the evidence that of human existence, And it says all of the physical, tangible, volatile parts of the primeval deity went out to God, who was the light. The God exploded into existence out of the primeval deity in a shower of spark and flame, which we remember as the Big Bang, the starting point of the physical creation. All of the spiritual, ethereal, eternal parts of the primeval deity remained in the goddess. In this sense, goddess is thought of as a continuation of primeval deity, since the consciousness of primeval deity is one of the spiritual parts that remained with her. And the God spread out in all directions through the primordial void, a blaze of light and superheated matter. In this time, fire would cool into stars, and from stars to planet. As this happens, the vibration of matter slows. It becomes more dense, seemingly solid. The slowing, cooling, and solidifying is described as falling into matter. Symbolically, the God is described as having fallen into 7 planes of existence. Some people say there are more, but then the divisions are not as exact as all that, so the number is not so important as the concept. 7 planes is the ancient number based on the idea of the 7 Ptolemaic planet, that is the sun, moon, and those planets visible in the naked eyes. The 7 planes are from the lowest, physical, emotional, mental, astral, solar, or egoic, monadic, and divine. And when Diana saw the light was so beautiful, the light which as her other self, her brother the God, she yearned for it with exceeding great desire, wishing to receive the light again into her darkness, to swallow it up in rapture, in delight. She trembled with desire, and this trembling was the first dawn. But the God's light fled from her and would not yield to her wishes. He was the light which flies into the most distant part of heaven, the mouse which flies before the cat. Since the beauty of the God, that is the physical universe, the goddess was entranced with desire and wanted it back. She had dreamed of seeing and tasting and doing, but being separate from the God, she could not do none of this. She could only observe from outside with that which is she had created. The goddess wanted the experience she had dreamed of, and so she desired to take the created universe back into herself, but it wasn't that easy. And the Vangelo tells how the goddess went from the oldest part of herself, the primeval deity who was still within her. The Vangelo calls primeval deity, the mothers and fathers who were before the first creation, emphasizing primeval deity androgynous aspect. In other words, the goddess consulted her own higher self. In many ancient myths, notably the story of Demeter and Persephone, this same process is shown as the goddess entering Hecate's cave to take counsel of the elders and the wisest part of the deity. In the Vangelo, Diana asked primeval deity how she could reunite with the god. How could a spirit take matter back into herself? In the ancient one, the primeval deity, the goddess, owns higher self, answered in this way: to rise, you must fall. To become the greatest of all the goddess, you must first become immortal. So in other words, it was not possible for spirit simply to take matter back to herself. If the goddess wished to reunite with the god, to be one with matter and experience it, she had to enter into the physical world. Only in the way could goddess and god unite. So here, we as a human being are mortal people, are mortal creation of the goddess. So as a mortal, according to Vangelo, we are the manifestation of the goddess. It is said that to rise, you must fall. To become the greatest of all the goddess, you must first become immortal. And we are the goddess manifestation in this world, in this planet. Comparing the creation story of God in the Bible, we are separate from the God. But we have to bow down to the power of God, according to the Bible. But in the Vangelo del Strega, we are the goddess who is working out to reunite again with the God, to be one again. It is said to become the greatest of all the goddess, you must first become immortal. As a human being, we are already on our down or on the lower part of our being. We are already fallen, just like what is said in the tarot card, that we are in the lowest point of our existence, and the next level for that is to ascend and to arise. And this is the duty of all Wiccans, or all magical practitioners, or not even just a magical practitioners, but all individual that lives in this plane of existence. Our duty is to elevate ourselves, our awareness, not into the mundane, but going to the spiritual part, no? So, can we do the ascension? Is it possible that we can attain enlightenment? The answer is yes, because the light is already within us. We are the light that the goddess is seeking to be united again. So we could, through that vision of the goddess for us, and through the aspects that we have because of the goddess, no, we can hope and we can possibly reunite with her and enlighten and be one with the goddess. So this is the difference of the creation story of the Bible, the evolution, and also of the Wiccan faith of how we exist. So most of the Wiccan people that you can see, we believe that we are part of the goddess, and the magic that we do comes from the goddess herself, because we are the manifestation of the goddess. I hope that this video help you understand how as an individual Wicca believe in God, and how power comes to us naturally because we are part of the goddess. So until here, if you like my video, kindly give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share this video if you are blessed, and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more to be updated if every time we upload new video. So until then, may you all blessed be peace. Mayari na, pag-asatin, paalam.